Well, hey, everybody, here we are, Timberlake Playhouse, once again with TLP Live this Sunday night. What a great night. And for those of you that are Packer fans or maybe New Orleans fans, don't worry. We're going to be done in time. The kickoff is just right at the end of this show. So you go right from TLP Live right to the football game. So all is good. Hey, Paul, how'd your Bears do today?
Hey, happy Sunday, Dan. I heard they won again. How about that?
You know, I was a little saddened, though. I'm a real Mitch Trubisky supporter and fan, and I heard that they pulled him out and put in, who's the other guy?
That's just not true. You're not a Mitch Trubisky fan at all.
I actually am. I felt bad for him because of all the bad press he gets.
The rest of the Bears fans did not miss Mitch when they brought out Nick Foles. I mean, let's be honest with you. Nick Foles did win a Super Bowl, albeit not with the Bears, but he did win. He beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So I think it's a smart move, and I hope that they leave him in for a while. Let's see what he does. I mean, now we're off to a good 3-0 start. But tonight, your Packers play, and of course, my wife Felicia's from New Orleans, so we're gonna have to see how this game plays itself out. But it's gonna be a pretty exciting one, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. Looking forward to it. Nice Sunday night game. So what's going on? What'd you do this last week? Anything?
It's just a lot of more of the same. We're getting the shops in order, and we're getting ready to do our virtual programming. We got a little bit of remote control news tonight. I think we'll be hearing from Max Major, who has generously donated a little time for the show tonight, and that's going to be really fun. And what about yourself, Dan? Where were you? What did you do?
Well, just much of the same. There's a lot of grant writing that we're doing right now. We've got some grant reports that are due this week. So just a lot of stuff to still do. And it's surprising we've got the theater shut down. I mean, the campus is closed, and there's still so much stuff to do. It's incredible, but we're keeping on. The virtual program we've got going this fall to kind of keep everyone engaged and involved in the theater. It's all, I think it's some real good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I'm really excited about some of the programming that we've been doing. We've been partnering with some great co-productions, co-theaters out there in the box productions. I'm speaking with Broadway HD about being able to stream Timberlake content. And Dan, I think that it's also something that we should start to talk about, that we can maybe perhaps show a couple of the performances from our gala, because those were so great. And maybe in the coming weeks, we should show a performance or two of our gala and get our audiences excited about the Christmas special that will be coming up in late November, early December. But for sure, until then, we've got Max Major's Remote Control coming up August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Those shows are sold out, but we definitely have shows available and tickets available for the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And that is going to be at 7 p.m. Central. Max it's an interactive show. You buy your ticket, we send you a link and a party in the box. The box has items that you'll need for the show. And I tell you, Dan, this guy is really, really talented, and I think our audience is going to really have a good time with this show.
Well, let's take a look here. We've got that promo video.
It's Max Major. You've seen me demonstrate my abilities on America's Got Talent.
You're a demon. That's amazing.
The Today Show, and dozens of viral videos across the internet. I've controlled Heidi Klum's mind over Zoom.
That is so weird.
I have an unusual ability to get inside people's heads and know exactly what you're thinking. And now I'd like to invite you to Remote Control, a highly interactive Zoom show where I'll be getting inside of your head through the screen.
Look what I wrote on the paper.
This is a show unlike anything you've ever experienced. Predicting your thoughts.
Oh my God.
Controlling your actions. You won't believe your eyes.
Yep. That's it. That's going to be great. So tickets are available. Now, here's how you can get them. You can go to our website and you can go ahead and look for remote control, and go ahead and click on the link. Once you purchase your tickets, then you're going to be sent a link and your address. And make sure that if you purchase a ticket with a credit card and you're going to be at a different address, make sure you email info@timberlake.org, timberlakeplayhouse.org, and let Bill know where you would like the box sent, so we can make sure we get your box sent to you. Otherwise, it will probably ship to the address that is on your billing address of your credit card.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's really good. And hey, Dan, do we still have the opportunities for the wishing well items and the Fund the Need? Is that still available for people to, if they want to contribute and help us achieve some of those goals? Is that still possible?
That is correct. Starting next week, we will have those up on the website, the new website, and people will be able to click on there and take a look at how they can help us out with the cabins. Already got a couple of them done. We're going to keep working this fall as long as we can, and then we'll finish them up next spring. And also the wishing well items, absolutely. They'll all be up there starting this week.
And I know the wishing well items, we're still looking for contributions and donations for our video camera that we're looking for that Canon camera. So have a look at that and read about it and ask any questions. But we would love to get that, as we are bringing more streaming content to our audiences that would really kind of help get us the good quality that our audiences come to expect. And I see that we have a comment from Lori about the date. The date of Remote Control, Lori, is October 9th. 10th and 11th. There are 3 shows, and each one of them starts at 7 p.m. So make sure that you grab your tickets. Tickets are limited. We do have limited space. There are only 50 people per show, so that Max can keep it intimate. So make sure you get your ticket. Make sure you get it right away so that we have time to get you your box. So that's going to be coming up. Looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback on Remote Control.
Absolutely. Hey, we got a great show tonight. Wanted to just show a couple of our patrons. Carol says, good luck in your virtual shows. Thank you. Thank you very much. And sure miss going to this past summer. Absolutely. We did too. Oh, yeah, Packers. Okay.
Go Bears.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about tonight's show. We got 2 great guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. From like 2012, 2013, 2014. Our resident companies. We have 2 guests tonight who have been absolute TLP stars, TLP favorites. Both have come back and done several shows with us as guest artists. We'd like to start by bringing out Erica Steffen. Erica, hello.
Hi, Hi everybody.
I see you're in the elf shop tonight.
I am. I have to flip it over so you could see. This is the elf shop. It's where I do a lot of crafts when I'm not on stage, which has been often.
Well, Erica, talk to us a little bit about that. What are some of the crafts that you create in your elf shop?
Yeah, so I should have had it right here. Right now, actually, so I've made a lot of jewelry throughout the years. Custom gifts are my favorite. So what I have people do is via my website, www.theelfshop.net, you can place custom orders. My favorite thing is when people tell me they want to make a gift for someone that they love, and I kind of help them brainstorm and we make it happen. Right now, I am making a ton of mask holders that you attach to your mask and you can wear as a necklace. It's kind of like glasses holders so that the mask is always on your body and they can say whatever you want. One of my favorites right now says, if you can read this, you're too close. So, and I have a bunch of vote ones and people just can customize them with whatever they want. I made a bunch for my sister's wedding with the wedding date and their initials. So that's been keeping me pretty busy.
So now, just to make sure we're clear, you're selling mask holders, not masks themselves. You're
yes,
not doing
not the masks themselves, just the holders.
And tell everybody one more time where they can find all of your products at.
Yes, www.theelfshop.net, and then also on Instagram as The Elf Shop and Facebook.
Excellent. The Elf Shop. Love it. Love it.
And she does absolutely great things. I tell you, the most looked forward to is the little thing she makes at the end of the shows that she gives out after Mary Poppins. It was a caricature of everybody in the company. I have it sitting up on a window in my office. It's
I love that.
It was real special.
Thanks, Dan.
So, yeah. Hey, we also have another incredible TLP alumni with us, Cody Jolly. Cody was in the company for 2 years. You've been back and you've done how many guest appearances?
Sorry about that. I was getting a little fuzz. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, how many guest appearances have you been out to do?
I was there from 2013 through 2017, so it ended up being about 5 seasons. So I mean, at least 15
Okay.
or 16 shows.
All right. Very good. I know when you did Peter Pan, was that a guest appearance or were you in the company that year?
Yeah, so 2015, that was Peter Pan, and then right immediately following was Greater Tuna. So I got to sort of just jump in for the middle part of that summer, and
Okay.
right, it was awesome.
Very good. We're having a little trouble with your microphone, Cody. I don't know if there's something you can do about that for us, but let me let you go back in the green room for a second and see if you can get that figured out.
Mm.
So,
So Eric, why don't we, tell all of our audiences about a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, and how you got to Timberlake for the first time you were there.
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so again, my name is Erica. I am from the suburbs of Chicago. My family lives in Glen Ellen, and now I live downtown, north of the city in Lincoln Square with my husband, my new husband, as of 3-4 months ago, end of May. And I went to school in St. Louis at Webster University with Cody, actually. And at Webster was when I got my first summer. So my TLP story for my first year is one of my favorites because it seems very serendipitous in how it happened. So I was auditioning at Midwest Theater Auditions, where Timberlake had usually auditions every year, and Webster holds those auditions. So I did my general audition, and that was in the big theater, and a bunch of the theaters were watching, and then you would have callbacks. So I ended up having a callback for TLP and loved the room, loved meeting everybody, went really well. But I found out later that I sort of had a Timberlake fairy godmother in that process. I don't know I think many of you know Tyler Sawyer Smith. They are a unbelievable Timberlake talent, and they were my Timberlake fairy godmother. So the story is supposedly that when I did my general audition, Jim, who was the artistic director at the time, was not in the room. So he did not see me audition. And Tyler told Jim, I know you cast this track already, but you need to get rid of that girl and call back this girl. And I got really lucky. And I was able to get a call back and actually ended up booking this track that Jim had supposedly already cast in his head. And so I got very, very lucky. And so Tyler is my Timberlake fairy godmother and got me my first job.
You know, that's a great story. So many times I hear, actor stories or even director stories, casting director stories, where that's kind of the norm. You walk into a room at an audition and you just blow them out of the water, and it's not like they're expecting it. The benchmark might be high. They might be thinking another person. And then you come in and you show through your talent, through your confidence, through the audition, in the moment in time, you seize the moment and you actually make them rethink what that character, what that role should be to mirror it towards, the performer in front of them. And that is a wonderful story. So you really probably did earn your stripes to get into
I got really lucky.
Make him rethink how he wanted to cast that role. That was great. What were some of the roles that you played your first year here?
So that first summer I did Guys and Dolls, and then I was in Working. The big role that summer was I was Ariel in Footloose, and then I was in Boing and Cabaret. So I did all 5 that first summer. And I loved every second of it, but then I said, I will never do that again. And so then when I came back, I did 2 shows here, 2 shows there, and gave myself a little more space. But that first summer was life-changing. I felt like I could school seemed like nothing after that first summer at Timberlake in terms of what someone could handle. It was the best learning experience I've ever had.
So your first summer was as a resident company member, a full resident company member. Then the next ones after that, you were a guest star, brought in as a guest star.
Yes.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Well, one of some of the things that I like to find out a bit about it is that how did you get the bug? What was it? What was your journey? Did you come from a dancing background, acting, singing? How did performing in general enter your life?
Yeah, I always did ballet. I was always drawn to ballet, and so I started ballet lessons when I was 4 and did them till I was 18. But in high school, I was always the ballerina who was getting yelled at because I was humming along to the music and kind of talking too much. And I never had the hips or the feet, but I loved it. I knew I wasn't going to be a professional ballerina, but I loved dancing so much. And then in high school, or no, 8th grade, our grade school was doing a musical for the first time ever, and they were doing Annie, which I feel like is everybody's first musical. And I auditioned, and I remember coming out of the audition and my mom was like, Erica, or no, I ended up getting Grace in that show, the woman that takes in Annie with Daddy Warbucks. And I remember getting cast, and so I was so excited, and my mom was like, oh sweetie, that's so awesome, but can you sing? Do you know how to sing? And I was like, I think so. I think I can, because I was always so nervous. In my head, my nonna would take us to musicals at Christmas time, and I was like, I know I can do that, but I was too shy to ever do it in person. My really only outlet was ballet. And then that musical happened, and yeah, ever since then, the bug only grew.
You found your tribe. You were able to find your tribe, right? I get it.
Big time.
I see you guys, Cody back. Cody, how you doing? Let's hear your mic.
Sorry if it's a little blurry. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. 100%.
My computer has a much worse webcam on it, so I was trying to do a better quality on my phone, but if y'all are fine, I'm good.
So Cody, tell us a little bit about where you started out. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Grayson High School in Georgia, and then went up to college in St. Louis, where I met Erica. She actually lived right above me in the dorm. We didn't know until much later, but she lived right above me, and we were in the same performance class. So that's kind of how I started to audition for Timberlake. I was able to audition at Midwest through our school. So it really worked out great for me. Actually, my first summer, I was hired at Timberlake. I didn't actually end up getting to come. I went with a different contract that summer, and the whole year I just kept thinking, oh, I would have really loved to work at Timberlake. That would be really awesome. So then the next year, Jim did not give me a call back, and I was like, I'm gonna go talk to him about this. So I just went and knocked on the door and said, hey, do you have any extra time to see someone? I'm so sorry about last summer, but I would still really love to be considered if you have it. And he was like, I was just thinking about emailing you. Come on in. And I couldn't stop working there ever since.
That's great. And what about, and same question for you, Cody, like so are you from Georgia originally? Is that where your family's from? So how did performing enter your life at a young age? Is that something that, is it fit, runs in the family? Did you find yourself, how did you find it?
I was one of those weird kids that was already acting as a little kid. My parents like to say that in preschool, our class assignment was to come dressed up as an animal the following day for circus day. And I threw those rules out the window and decided to come as the ringmaster, which should be pretty telling about everything that's come after that. So ever since then, I've been acting like my entire life. It's my favorite thing to do. And so I was just always so grateful to get to come do that out at Timberlake, to come get to play all kinds of different weird, wacky, crazy people. Just the best.
We hear a lot from our alumni about Midwest theater auditions. That's basically a major hub where a lot of TLP come from. Why don't I, just to refresh our audience's memories on what Midwest is, it's called a unified audition. And basically what happens is many, many, many different theater companies from, looking for summer work or year round or theme park, they go to this Webster School, and they sit down in the audience. And then one by one, over the course of 3 or 4 days, a person comes out, an actor comes out, and they perform a song and a monologue or 2 songs, and then later to dance. As a performer in those auditions, talk to us a little bit about what that is like. How do you get ready for that? What is that moment before you got to walk on stage and see all these strange people? How does that, what is that like for the performer? Erica, go ahead.
I think the hardest part about Midwest was that initial audition. It was a big theater. I prefer intimate spaces when it comes to auditioning. I had never really done an audition experience like that before. So I felt like that was much more nerve-wracking, that initial huge cattle call audition in front of all of these 50 plus, 75 plus theaters who were coming to watch was more nerve wracking. The best part of that week, though, was as the callbacks would come in, you'd check every day to see what theaters called you back. And then you would do more intimate auditions with either actual material or you would prep other stuff. Those were much less nerve wracking for me and so much more fun to get to actually meet the people one-on-one and feel like you're connecting with them. That first initial one feels very distant from people, but so that was the first hurdle. But then after that, it was so fun. It was so fun.
Absolutely. I mean, we got a leg up on it just because that was where we were auditioning at school all the time. So we kind of already could, walk out there and know what the space felt like, because you really can't describe it to people when you walk out there and it's just dark, but you know that every seat is full of someone who is about to make an opinion about your talent. And so you want to do a good job. I always found that it really worked for me when I found monologues and songs that I really wanted to do. So then at the very least, I got to perform that thing in front of all of those people in like one of the nicest theaters in the country, and just kind of like lean into the excitement of that sort of once in a lifetime kind of experience. But I totally agree with Erica that like after that, when you break off into the callbacks, you got to be in a room with one other person that was casting and them talking to you. And, it tended to make it a lot more fun. The callbacks will go on for the entire week. So, you kind of have to mentally prepare and also physically prepare that everything is going to shut down for that week. And you just kind of have to like make sure you really, have all your ducks in a row. But it's a really amazing opportunity to get in front of people.
It's awesome.
You've got 90 seconds to get somebody's eye and somebody's ear. And I'll tell you what, when we sit there and see Paul, 2,000, 2,500 people in 3 days, it's like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
We do that 5 or 6 times over because we go to a few different unified auditions from New York, Kentucky,
Memphis,
St. Louis, Memphis. So yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So like you said, Dan, you really have to stand out. And Erica, Cody, let's talk about that material that you're gonna audition with. What is what is your process like going through the material, because you got 90 seconds, like Dan says, you got 90 seconds to make an impression on who you are and get people excited about wanting to call you back into that room to get to that intimate setting. What is your process picking your material?
Oh, I think I'm frozen. Shoot.
I always like to go for things that kind of mirror each other, because I've sat in a few of the auditions for Timberlake in the years afterwards, and it's always the people that have fully thought through both pieces that you're going to see. So for instance, if it's a classical, I would do something like Hamlet. And then in the contemporary piece, I would do a contemporary play talking about Hamlet. And so even though they didn't have anything to do with each other and they were completely different stylistically, people who were paying attention could kind of go, oh, he's thought this through. You just want to show as much of your talent as you can as quickly as possible. And just really enjoying the pieces that you're doing. I think that's like the most important thing. If you're going to go out there and you get so few chances to perform in the world, that audition is your chance to do your job that day or that month or year or however long you've gotten to do it. So it's nice to do something that you're going to leave and say, I'm so glad I did that piece today, even if nothing comes of it, just kind of.
It's that hook. I call it the hook, where you're able to, make some sort of a narrative that the auditioner hooks that piece with. Like you said, you do a classical from Hamlet, and then you do a comedic contemporary that talks about Hamlet. That to me is the really that cut above that I look for in performers that really tell me they've thought about this material, they've thought about how they're going to put it together with their song and their monologue, and those are the ones that I want to talk to, because that really informs me that they're really dedicated to the craft. So that's
thoughts and making choices, and even in auditions, yeah.
That's huge. Making big choices. I mean, getting people to genuinely laugh. If you can walk out of there and have people genuinely laugh one time, you've succeeded, because it's so hard to break through your 30th vanilla ice cream medley, or something that you've heard 50 times in a row. That one person that comes through and does vanilla ice cream but does it differently. Those people you're going to say, well, I at least want to see what they would do in a callback. If you can get yourself to the callback, then you're going to do so much better. Don't try to work for the job, work to just be able to be in the room and get to perform again.
Yes. And I do like risks.
What was your favorite show at Timberlake?
Oh, I it's going to sound like a very pageanty answer, but I genuinely loved every single show that I got to do at Timberlake, and for totally different reasons. Different ones stand out, like Young Frankenstein, Music Man, and Spam-A-Lot, and Rumors, like Greater Tuna. It's just like any one of those individual experiences would have been enough for me to feel like I had like a once in a lifetime opportunity. But the fact that I got to do so many of those things back to back to back in one summer or over 5 years, it feels like one of the best gifts to be given by someone. So thank you, Jim and Dan and everyone, out there for,
and hearing that, Cody, that's amazing, because we hear, we do talk a lot about hearing from alumni. It is difficult, and Dan and I don't, make no bones about it. It's long hours. We expect a lot from our resident company. We place them high on the artistic chart to be able to bring the shows that we have to prepare in 2 weeks to go there. But here you are, 13 to 17, four seasons back to back to back. What was that about? What was it about TLP that made you just continue to say, I'm not done yet. I want to come back for more?
It's unlike even other summer stocks that I've worked at. I mean, just the community vibe that you get backstage, but also the community in front of the stage. You feel completely supported, and like you can feel the love from the audience. I mean, we were doing an inspector calls one year, and I would just be stopped down the street because people wanted to know how it ended or what I thought was really happening at the ending. And because the community is invested, the quality of the shows just got better and better. And it was it was the easiest thing to say yes to whenever Jim had anything for me to do. I mean, even Forum, I basically just came on and slid across the stage a few times, and I was like, I will do that. Sign me up.
That's really great. That's fantastic. Now, talk to us a little bit about, so 17 was your last season as a resident company member. Now you're, what happens next on your journey? Where do you go? Do you do you put yourself in a Chicago market or a New York market? Where do you go, and what comes next?
Yeah, so I was lucky to start working at Timberlake while still in college. So a lot of that transition, Timberlake was just a natural part of that progression. I ended up doing some contracts like out in California and, just kind of around, but I ended up settling in Chicago and, doing a lot of the storefront theater there, which, working at Timberlake will prepare you for that. You'd be shocked at how much time you have to do other things. And then people will say, oh, we only have 2 weeks. Well, we're used to doing shows in 2 weeks at Timberlake, so I felt very well prepared.
Yeah, it'll prepare you for sure for that, for sure.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I'm sweating. My computer completely froze.
Live and on the internet. It's all good.
Love that. Hi, guys.
You're going to be a meme soon.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we're back.
So, Erica, we were just talking a little bit about, favorite role that you played during your time at TLP.
Oh, at TLP, that's so hard. I think Footloose stands in my brain as a role that just a show more so that is incredibly memorable. There was a lot of memories associated with that show that kind of paralleled my time at TLP. It seemed to be very important to the community. I remember during that show meeting a ton of members of Mount Carroll that felt personally connected to the storyline in Footloose, and I loved that. I have memories of actually running to the train on the road and screaming at it like they do in the show. Me and my friend Henry, who played Ren, actually did that. So we were in an atmosphere that felt like Beaumont. So it paralleled that nicely. And I remember one of my all-time favorite TLP memories was that set was very bare bones. And the stage was painted by all of the company members, with quotes and their favorite words of encouragement and things that just any phrases or words that meant something to them. And we stayed up one night till like 3 a.m. and all were painting the stage and created that set together. And that was one of my ultimate memories. I'll never forget that. Yeah. I loved that show.
That's a great story. I love that. That's again just a testament to kind of the creativity that happens, at TLP.
Yeah.
So you finished your tenure well as a guest artist in 16. What happens next for you? Where do you end up going? Where do you end up settling? And most importantly, since it is a new marriage, how did you meet your husband?
Yeah. So after 2016, so after I graduated in 2014, I moved to Chicago. I had grown up seeing Chicago shows and knew that it was a community I really wanted to be a part of. Every Christmas, my Nana would take us to a show at Drury Lane, the Marriott, all these theaters that I'm now lucky enough to work at. And that has been awesome to kind of come full circle with the community that I grew up watching. And so I've been in Chicago since 2014 in the same apartment, but now I have a new roommate and his name is Charlie. And it's kind of awesome. Cody is one of my best friends from my life. I've known him for 10 years and his roommate in college is my now husband. So the three of us are incredibly close and it makes it all the more special to have Cody here. So yeah.
So great. Is he also is he in the performer? Is he a performer or is he not? Or what?
So we met doing musical theater together at Webster. And he lived in New York for 2 years and did a cruise ship contract, a show in Vegas, and was working at a bunch of regional theaters. Then he moved to Chicago and switched gears a little. He's in his 3rd year of law school now. So he's almost complete with that. And so he'd always wanted to do it and he felt like he was losing time to go back to school and made the shift. And now he's almost done, which is crazy.
That's great. That's great. We hear so many great stories. But last week we had a couple of alumni that both had shifted. One had become a pastor, and one had become a travel booking traveler. What was it, Dan? Travel agent.
Oh, agent. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So it's just great how it doesn't really, just because you don't end up on the road of performing, pivot. It's that the skills that you learn as a young performer, how to just to be able to project your voice when you speak, and then those are great skill sets that come. And I think that regardless of where you end up on your journey, I do believe that if you spent a summer at TLP, that will take you through many walks of life for sure.
Truly, truly.
Cody, what are you doing now?
I am currently in transition. I did move out of Chicago about a month ago, and I'm planning to make another relocation here in the next few months. Not 100% sure yet. I've been burned in the past by saying that too soon. But yeah, if anyone is friends with me or follows, I'll be sure to keep everyone posted where I end up. But yeah, still performing, still pursuing it as hard as ever.
Can you give us some ideas of where you're thinking about going? Is it New York, LA? Not sure.
Yeah, I did work out on the West Coast for a few months right after college, and I did really enjoy that. So I'm leaning towards there, but again, I'm kind of in a moment now where I'm hoping just some big opportunities show up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, it's just such a hard time in the world that I feel like. Taking a few months, I left home like 10 years ago or, however long, to go to school. So this is actually the first time that I've gotten to spend some quality time back in my home state. So even though we can't fully appreciate everything going out and doing that sort of thing, it's just sort of a nice little breather to, reset and pick back up.
You did photography for a while. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I actually did my last 2 seasons at Timberlake. I was in the shows and was photographing the shows. So for Forum and All Wilderness, I would be out there taking pictures and then pass it off to somebody and then run on stage, go do my scene, and then run off and take the pictures. I love photography. It's always been a passion of mine, but I didn't really pursue it really hard until I got to Chicago and was really lucky and got to work with a lot of really cool storefront theaters there and take their pictures. And it's an amazing, I do recommend, for any actors that are out there that are, feeling like they're struggling, if they're between auditions or between shows, finding another artistic outlet that doesn't even have to be a business. It doesn't have to be something that you pursue all the time or even to the same degree, but just finding something else to sort of put that energy in is so valuable. So I'm so lucky that I found something that I really enjoy doing also with it, and that sometimes it got to overlap. So I still felt like I was working in the theater, I was talking to actors and making sure they had all their good pictures for their social media, and that's just a really thrilling like part of it.
I love the fact that, we have so many conversations with people that once they finish school and, and usually Timberlake comes like right within their, first 3-4 years of working professionally. Talk to us a little bit about the Chicago market, because you'd think like for those who might be watching, not in Chicago and not familiar with the Chicago theater market, you think live theater, you probably automatically think Broadway and New York. If you think film and television, you probably think more LA. What is it about the Chicago market that drew you both to that once you left, as opposed to, a larger market like in New York or LA?
I think that, I'm a big advocate for Chicago. I think it's the best of all worlds in terms of being in a community that you can actually live and work in the same place. If you're lucky enough to work in the city, you can also put roots down in life. And that was incredibly important to me. My family's here. And they come first always. And so to be in a place that I can live and work was huge. All my friends in New York, unless they are working on Broadway, they're most likely working somewhere else if they're performing. And as much as I would love to go to New York and do a show, the idea of constantly traveling was not something I was necessarily interested in. I'm all for adventure, but to be able to work while being here for family events and kind of establishing my own roots was a huge appeal. And I think that there's multiple types of theater in Chicago. That there is the TV film scene if you want to break into that. A lot of the NBC, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, all those shows film here, which is great for actors in the city if you can get one of those gigs. And the commercials are good. And you can also do storefront theater. You can do non-equity theater. You could do equity theater. Plays, musicals. I feel like it has everything. And I feel like I've only tapped into a little bit of it. And so to think that it's a city that I can call home and still have so much more to do here is super appealing. I love it.
What about you? What about you, Cody?
I love Chicago. I think it's an amazing place for young actors to go to gain their experience. I mean, you can audition for things that are on the storefront. You could audition for things that are, bigger scale, the Steppenwolfs, the Goodmans, Drury Lane, Chicago Shakespeare. But there's so much good work happening. And some of the best work you'll see is in the bottom of a church basement or in a remade storefront. And those opportunities are there for you if you're willing to go out and go for them. But Chicago, it has everything. I mean, you can go see a Shakespeare done in a room no bigger than your living room, or go see a musical as big as you could ever want it to be. I feel like it is, like Erica said, just the best of all of those worlds. But you still get that community vibe. I mean, that's a lot of what I love about Chicago is it's a very tough market to break into, but it is a very welcoming and supportive community. People genuinely have each other's backs there. And it's especially if you're looking to gain experience or, build your resume or do things like that. I mean, go to Chicago and just audition for everything that comes across that website. And, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a part of something you're going to be proud of. So it's kind of hard to turn that down. It's just a great place for people.
Well, that's great. We're in this COVID world right now where our industry has been completely turned upside down, and you both have said, find ways to be creative. What are, is there anything specific you guys are doing to merge into this? Do you find yourselves doing more streaming plays or rehearsals? How are you able to sustain your creativity? Because I believe it was you, Erica, that said that it is so important for anybody, no matter what your walk of life is. Being creative in some way, shape, or form is very important. What are you guys doing to pivot, if you will, in the creative space?
Yeah, I feel like I'm now just entering the time frame of being able to think about what am I going to do. When quarantine hit, it was just get through our wedding, and then my sister got married 2 months after me, so my poor family had two pandemic weddings, and that ended last weekend. So I feel like I was very tunnel vision into make that happen and make that happen for my sister. So now I kind of that distraction has lifted and those events have happened. And now on the other side of it, throughout that, I've just been trying to do something every day that reminds me of the industry. And I tap dance in my garage. I'm trying to teach myself that. I try to sing every day. My car is my best stage right now. and my other outlet is just, I call it elfing, but all the elf shop stuff is a nice creative outlet. And I feel like I can bring joy to people through those gifts, through those little handmade gifts. But other than that, I just try to keep my mind and body in shape and at the ready for when it comes back.
I feel like I'm doing almost the opposite, where rather than focusing on things that could really benefit my career in that regard, I feel like I've been focusing so much on just, personal things that bring me joy. I just think it's, if you're not able to, muster up the energy to go do rehearsals or go get new headshots or update your resume, once you've done all those things, like, what do you do? So it's okay for that to be all you do. But finding those things that bring you joy. I mean, I talk to Matt Webb almost every single day, and for TLP folks, everyone knows who Matt Webb is. He's my comedic better half for most of my years there. And so having a good friend that'll make you laugh for all the time is a very valuable thing. But finding those little things that exercising and eating better, and just if you can find one small win in your day, that's fine. The business, we're going to come back. Theater has been through everything and come back stronger, and it always does. And it's going to this time as well. It might be a little scary and it might be a little shaky. But whatever you're doing to keep yourself going day to day and smiling and finding joy, that is the best thing you can do for yourself as an actor too. You can go sing to your heart's content out and do all that stuff, but if you're not feeling good and you're not taking care of yourself day to day, then it won't be for anything. So take care of yourself, and then your acting career will come back, I hope. Well, I'm saying that like I'm gonna know. I
hear I think it's important. Myself, I've been learning how to do scene shops and costume shops and prop shops. You take a deep dive there. A lot of my friends have learned more cooking skills. Or picked up that the crochet that they've been wanting to start and tinker around with. But I think that it's important to keep yourself active, to keep yourself moving forward. And I think that you're right, Cody. We will come back. The industry will come back, and it will bounce back better than ever. But in the meantime, it's important. Self-care is a very two words that we have put together that have been very, very paramount during this time, and it's very important for mental health, for our physical health, to make sure that we do self-care. And I think that is very wise. It's very wise for sure.
So tell us what one of your favorite memories of TLP is.
Gosh, that's
Who
so
wants to
hard.
go?
You want to go, Eric, or do you want me to?
Well, I have a memory related to Cody. It's one of my favorite. I don't know. It's one of my favorite memories that I look back to as feeling just a moment of pride. I was there a summer, the summer that Cody was doing The Music Man. I was there, I think, at the top for chorus line, and then I left, and then I came back for the kids show and did Seussical at a chunk of the summer and then at the end of the summer. So I was in and out, and one who was doing Music Man was kind of when I was overlapping. And Cody was one of my best friends at school and someone obviously I admired so much. And I had never seen The Music Man. I was so bad with classics. I'm trying better. I was terrible. And so I got to watch that for the first time and I was blown away. It is now one of my favorite shows. Getting to see Cody as Harold Hill was something I'll never forget. And I snuck into the back of the theater in the booth every night to watch Cody do the bridge scene Till There Was You for like 2 weeks straight. And I just remember that, like, that's the magic. You get to feel this unbelievable amount of pride for the people that you are on stage with, and then people that you get to share incredible moments with off stage. And I will always I will never forget getting to watch Cody shine in that moment. And I was a proud friend. Yeah.
That's so
That
sweet.
was so sweet. Well, to follow that up, we got to do our very first, even when we were in school, we never get to do shows together. We would always be in other shows, but never in each other's. Or if we were in the same show, it would be people that don't talk or interact at all. So our first time that we got to do anything was A Necessary Farce, directed by Lillian Brown, the amazing Lillian Brown. And we actually got to be the assassins at the end. And so, like, stick up the whole joint by the end of the play. So that's like a very special memory. I have to say, one of my favorite memories ever was during Young Frankenstein, when the power went out, and so we had this crazy storm show up, and we it can rain, and that's fine. And we get to almost the end of the first act, and we're seeing the doors starting to shutter like this from on stage, and we're like, that's probably not great. And Frankenstein, they reveal the lab, and so he, like, the lights and boom, 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 and that's when the power went out immediately following that, to which then Matt brilliantly goes, "Oh, wrong button." The funniest, the best laugh of the whole night was that one. So then we did the opening of the second act. We did it with flashlights, and so it's our cell phones in our face, and at half for as long as we could do it. But I just want to say that that's one of my favorite memories ever. Just not only because of that sort of being a once in a lifetime performance experience, but that's when you really become aware of the audience and, like, the community that I was talking about earlier. We stayed out there and waited with everyone as the cars cleared, and it was still raining and storming after we had to cancel the show. But that community, that vibe of us all being there for each other in that moment and sharing in that moment, is something I will keep with me for my entire life. That is just one of the most special days I've ever had.
That's great. It is just not a summer without a blackout.
Actually, Erica came to visit me in 2017. Her and Charlie both came up to see All Wilderness, and the show got rained out. The power went out. So they just came to hang out with us. But I feel like we had a good time.
It was great.
we had 2 rainouts or power outs. Forum had a power out. We couldn't do the second act of one of the nights. Yeah. That's
it doesn't happen often, but when it does.
We had a power outage on a strike. We did a strike last season. I want to say it was either Man of La Mancha or Mamma Mia, one of those two. And right when we started the strike, and just for everybody at home, and you two know this, is that everything is scheduled within an inch of its life. I mean, your last show on that Sunday matinee, you need to start striking and get that next set in, because you start teching the next day for a show that you're going to open up on Thursday. So everything has got to be scheduled. Well, of course, right when we were about to, everybody got their tools, came back, and bam, power outage, no power. And everybody was like, how could we, and we had one of our high school interns called her dad, and her dad brought out a generator so that we were able to get some lights on there so we can continue to work. So that's kind of
magic.
After rolling up the doors and shining the headlights of cars into the theater.
Yes.
And it was noises off, Paul, because
it was noises off. You're right, Dan.
That's amazing.
I walked in the theater while in the pitch dark with flashlights. They're on the second story taking it down. I'm like, I think I need to turn around and leave.
I need to leave.
We never said that, like, continue on. That's the kind of camaraderie and love and respect, and it's just they wanted to do it on their own. And I remember Dan walked in, and we walked into each other. We're like, we're not encouraging this. We cannot have this, And then we were able to get the power, the generator out there, and then I think it was like 3 hours later, the power came back on, and so we were able to continue the strike. But that is the kind of the stories that make that magic, that make those bonds. Yeah. that people carry with them. Those are the stories, those are the ones where you really you come together in clutch moments, and you just make it happen.
Totally.
And that's been the spirit of Timberlake since the day it was constructed, was making magic happen from day one. So I'm so glad that's continuing.
Well, you two have been absolutely two of the most incredible TLP alumni that we have. You're absolutely two of the favorites out here. Cody has been out. He emceed the gala for us one year. Erica, you emceed with Tyler one year.
Yeah.
And they keep, asking me to ask you guys back. So we'll probably try to do that. Maybe during our 60th, we should have you back as part of the, like an alumni guest hosts or something along those lines. But
all right.
Let us know.
Part of the reason I say this is because you guys have been so good to our community and to our patrons. Always talking with them, always meeting with them, and not just here at TLP, but I mean, for both of you, how many of our patrons have come to see you in Chicago or to see you? Up in
Bob and Bobby.
Bob and Bobby.
The best.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
My grandchildren still talk about talking with you after shows.
Yeah.
And you're always so kind to talk with them, and it makes them all feel really special. And you guys make us all feel really special. We thank you.
It's
as Timberlake does for us.
For being here tonight. I'm going to throw some comments up. Let me run through some of our comments.
So many to choose from. There's been a lot tonight. This has been great.
Speaking of Bob and Bobby.
Yay!
Hi, Bob and Bobby.
So we're watching and think it's great.
Yes.
Luann.
Thank you, Luann.
Luann was a favorite.
Hi, Robin. Emma, I love you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Aw, thank you, Robin.
And Leslie said,
Oh my gosh.
it's so lovely to see the two of you and hearing your memories. Your stories are very familiar.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Autumn.
Hi,
Bill. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm having a reunion.
I know, that's awesome.
every week we have this. I think Dan and I are the lucky ones that are gonna get a chance to experience it all. We get to talk to you guys. We get to hear from people who remember you guys, and not only remember, but such a fond memory. Bob and Bobby are just two of my faves because they literally can recite basically every alumni, what show they played, what role they played in, and it's just an attestament to the talent and the love in that community. Because again, a theater is only as strong as the people that are on that stage behind the scene and the audience members. And we're very lucky to boast that our community that supports Timberlake Playhouse has come through for us, year in and year out. And even during this time, they're right there, even more so, right behind us. And it's because of people like you that you guys come out and give of your talent and your time, and then take those stories with you and you spread the word. You talk to people about what TLP meant to you. And I have gotten a lot of emails saying, oh my God, I've heard so many wonderful things about TLP because of this, performer and that technician that were there, whether it be last year or 20 years ago. And it's still that power that continues to push through and inspires me. I know it inspires Dan and inspires us to continue to bring this community together. And I think Dan's right. I think on our 60th next year, we have to have some kind of alumni gathering because
we've been trying to do the alumni weekend for the last 3 years. And I think finally, a lot because of TLP Live, I think we'll have a good alumni weekend next year.
No, Bob, I think if you're listening out there, I think we could start this. We can get this ball rolling now. I think it's going to leave the station and we're going to have a lot of passengers on it.
Yeah. Don't forget the elfshop.net. You know what we should do, Erica? Absolutely. Let's get some of your Elf Shop creations out to the new TLP gift shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Start thinking about things for next year, next season.
Great.
And you can have your own little Elf Shop corner.
That sounds awesome.
All right. And Cody, you go ahead and get some things made up. And Paul, we'll sell some of your crocheting. Give us some of your crocheting.
Yes, of course. all of my crocheting is going to come in. I'm going to have my own. I'll just do it live. I'll just sit in the corner.
That'll be next week's TLP Live. Crochet.
Exactly.
Cody,
Well, Cody,
thank you so much. Eric, thank you.
Thank
guys
you,
are
guys.
wonderful.
Thank you. I really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you guys for keep holding down the fort and making TLP amazing. So
Yes,
thank
thank
you
you
guys.
so much.
It takes a family and it takes all of us. We do it together. Thank you so much.
And thanks to everyone watching.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye now. Well, that was fun.
That was really another wonderful experience, you know. And I tell you, as we're getting a chance to talk to people from the past, which are it excites me so much, and I'm so glad we are getting a chance to bring them. I'm also excited about where we're at today and bringing our audiences. You know, we're pivoting ourselves, Dan. So coming up again, we got remote control. Were we able to get Max? Are we ready to? Can we throw that Max video up?
We're going to sure give it a try.
All right.
So
this is Max Major right after he left America's Got Talent. Well, you know what? Maybe we can do it.
We cannot play this type of video. There's a problem with this type of video, and it won't play. I'm going to try it one more time. Why don't you talk just a little bit about this? And
I wanted to say to the audience that if, you know, again, feedback is so important as we pivot into this new space with this virtual programming. It's interactive, and that's the key. I think that, you know, everybody at home is going to have your camera on, and Max is going to actually talk to you. Now, when you watch the show, I'd love to hear from you. Email me and let me know what you thought of it, because there are actually other shows that are in development right now that are based on interaction. One of them is the next one that would come up is a cruise show. You would actually sit at home and go on a cruise. This one would be a story with a cruise director, entertainment from all over the world. You get to go to different spots, and it's a virtual cruise from your home, another party in the box. So if this is something that you like, if this is something that we're trying out that you enjoy, please let us know. And even if you don't enjoy it, I'd love to hear that as well, because again, it's really about keeping us connected. And so, but the good news is that I'm definitely very excited about our Christmas special. That's going to be a TLP exclusive. We're bringing in all of our TLP alumni from Broadway, from Chicago, from LA, and we're going to be doing Christmas songs. And I'm going to drop a little hint right now. The TLP main stage is definitely going to play a major part, because we got some great feedback from our gala that I was on the TLP stage. I had a chance to be on the TLP stage, and so we're very excited about the Christmas special that'll be coming up in the coming months. How are we doing, Dan?
Well, let's. I think maybe it might work this time. Let's give it a try.
Give it a shot.
It's Max Major, and I just got home from America's Got Talent, and I'm so excited that my next show is for you. I can't wait for you to join me for Remote Control, where I'll get inside your mind through the screen. See you there.
There we go.
He did say hello, Timberlakers. That was what he said at the beginning, just in case we missed that. So again, Max Major coming at you, Remote Control. That is going to be October 9th, 10th, and 11th. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are sold out, so we cannot sell any more of those tickets. But the 9th, 10th, and 11th, the show time is at 7 p.m. Central Time. You're going to get sent a link, and you'll get your part. So not to be missed, and we can't wait to hear about that.
Carolyn says she sure missed going to the theater this past summer. Hopefully next summer. We are sure hopeful too. We're hoping we're all set and good to go. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, Carolyn. We appreciate you.
Well, Paul, another TLP Live.
Another TLP Live. And, you know, it's so great to have these moments. And Dan, you know, it's really been great to continue to bring our alumni on and talk with them, get to know them and where they're at now and what they were experiencing when they came to TLP. So thank you all for watching tonight. We want to hear from you. If you have any ideas for guests or anything like that, please let us know. And the comment box is always there to dive in. And I hope everybody is having a good day. Have a great week. And I hope to see everybody next week as well.
Thank you, Paul. You have a great week, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It's great to see you all tonight. And as we say every week, we're all in this together, and we'll get through it.